There are only red sweets and yellow sweets in the bag. There are n red sweets and there are 8 yellow sweets. Sajid is going to take a sweet at random from the bag and eat it. He says the probability the sweet will be red is 7/10. Show why the probability cannot be 7/10. So if I were to do this, I'd go boom, boom. So in the bag there are red, yellow, and it could be, to have a red sweet, be n plus 8. And then it would be 8 over n plus 8. So basically the chance of him having a red sweet, he's saying is 7/10, which would mean that that would have to be 7/15 or something in that way. So it would have to be 14/20. And that doesn't work because if n is 14, then it'd be 14 plus 8, which is 26. Or if n was... Anyway, basically you can't do that. After Sajid has had his first sweet from the bag and eaten it, he's going to take a random second sweet from the bag. Given that the probability that both sweets he takes will be red is 3/5, work out the number of red sweets in the bag and you must show your workings. So if we were doing that, it would go like that. R, Y, R, Y, R, Y. I'm not sure I need to do all of this, but anyway. So at first he's got n over n plus 8 red sweets. Then he will have n minus 1 and n plus 7 on the bottom. So, and that's going to equal 3/5. So he essentially has n over n plus 8 times n minus 1 over n plus 7. And that equals 3/5. So on the top he's got n times n plus 1 is n squared minus n over, and that's going to be n squared plus 8n plus 7n plus 15n, basically, plus 56 equals 3/5. And then we can cross multiply, so we get 5n squared minus n equals 3n squared plus 45n plus, what is that, 56, 150, 168. Now, I'm just going to make that 5n squared underneath, 5n squared minus 5n. Now weirdly I'm going to take all that off that side so I can solve the quadratic. So we get, take off the 3n squared, you get 2n squared. Take off 45n from minus 5n, and that would be minus 50n. And take off 168 equals 0. So now you can put this into a, you can check what you can get out of it, 168. So it's going to equal something that equals 320, 336, and goes to negative 50. I mean, this is going to take me a while. So that could be 100 and... It's not going to be that, is it? Well, I've just put it into my calculator, I'm going to be honest. And that gets me... I know that the actual answer is n equals 28. So at the beginning, the amount of n... Well, n equals 28. That'll do. And otherwise it equals minus 3, and you can't have minus 3 in a bag. So there you go. Right, this is a graph of the curve y equals fx. On the grid, sketch the graph of the curve with the equation f equals minus x. So if this is x minus 2, so if we put minus 2 into that, I'll show you. So if we go f of minus 2, then we get f of 2. So y equals f of 2, or y equals 2. So then that would go over there. Then if that's minus 1, that's going to be there. So I'm assuming we flip it through the y. I mean, that's not beautiful, but you get the idea. We flip it through the y. So y equals 2, etc. We don't flip it through the x. Right, on the grid below, that shows curve, so the curve is y equals f5 plus blah, blah, blah. It's transformed by translation to give S curves such that the point is 1, 6, is mapped onto 0.46 on S. Find the equation for S. So right, which one is mapped? So C has got this, and then it goes that way, or at least it goes that way, doesn't it? Which means that X has got to be, so in the brackets, X minus 3, because it's gone up 3. So in order to get an equation for X, for S, we can literally do y equals 5 plus 2x minus 3 minus, and then that would be x minus 3 squared. And I don't know if I need to do that much more with that, so I'm going to just put that there. I might have had to do something else. Right, C is a circle with a centre O, or the origin. So that means that if we did a little drawing, it's not beautiful, is it? That would mean that this goes through, and a tangent to C passes through the points. I'll work that out in a minute. So let's just draw a little circle. Well, who was the chap in the 13th century who said that you were a great artist if you could draw a circle? Well, he's the one who designed the St. Francis's church. Begins with a G, Giotto, that's it. Anyway, tangent to C passes through the points minus 20, so that's minus 20, 0. So that's, let's say that's there. And 0, 10. This isn't great, but there we go, I'll go for that. So that's going that way. Work out the equation of C, and you must show all the working. Okay, so we can do this. What we can do is work out what that point there is, and then we can go like that, and that'll tell us what the radius is and various other things. So let's find out the tangents formula, tangents equation. It will be y equals, so it's going to be, if we make that x and we make that y, we make that x1 and y1, so it's going to be 10 minus 0 over 0 minus minus 20 x, and then it's going to be plus, because it goes through that one, so that's going to be 10. Okay, so that means that's 10 over 20, which is half x. That's 10. What's that? Okay, so that's that bit for done first. Now, we know then that this here is going to have a negative reciprocal. So the radius meeting the tangent is at 90 degrees. So that's going to be y equals minus 2x. And to find out what this point is here, we can make them equal each other. So if y equals minus 2x and y equals half x plus 10, that will give us what this x is going to be, and then we'll put it back in to get the y. So we will take, let's take off half x from both sides, so that's minus 2.5x equals 10. So x equals 10 over minus 2.5, so x equals minus 4, which actually makes sense because it is this way. Okay, so we've got minus 4. Then we'll put minus 4 back into there, and y equals minus 2 times minus 4, so y equals 8, which also makes sense. So now we have a triangle, and the triangle has got 4 at the bottom and 8 here, and then it has this. So in order to find out what the radius is, we will do 4 squared plus 8 squared equals and then we'll square root it. So it's 16 plus 64, which is 80. So this equals the square root of 80. And that actually weirdly tells us what our what the equation of the circle is, because the equation of the circle is always x squared plus y squared, and then it equals its radius squared. So it would be squared, which is x squared plus y squared equals 80. And that is that.